Hey beauties, morning to you. So, I saw something on the RGR's, website where Techa Clarke-Griffiths, the president of the Jamaica Civil Service Association, that the civil servants are restive and ready, you know. So, they're very edgy, very ill at ease, because of the fact that they have been since last year trying to get through to the Ministry of Finance as it relates to the compensation package. In particular, the passenger mileage reinstatement, the back money for that, the retro for the passenger mileage, increments, back money, or the, retro for the increments, and so on. And he said that she was saying that it is unfair because the ministry, they would have gotten theirs, and yet the other civil servants of the different arms of just the ministry of the whole, in terms of ministry in and of itself, civil servants, they have not gotten theirs, and they say they have been unresponsive. It's not the first I've heard people saying, that the MOF has been unresponsive when they're trying to get through to things that need to be dealt with urgently, to be expedited, to be, dealt with expeditiously, if you want to put it that way. And there's a reason why I'm using these adverbs, because I want you to understand the importance of it, why I'm using the hyperbole as well. And I heard the minister, she said that, let me continue on Mrs. Griffiths. She mentioned that they met last year, December, and the follow-up meeting was to be had in January. We're now in March, and that meeting has not been had. When I was listening, it was a voice clipping. They had captured both individuals. The media, the news reporter had captured both individuals, both people rather. That is Mrs. Techa Clarke-Griffiths and the Minister of Finance, Mr. Nigel Clarke. And he responded by saying I listened to his thing, he probably had a meeting in December. Let us say maybe he really forgot if there was a meeting in December. Maybe he wasn't there, so he's not sure. So he was speaking very carefully. All right, I'm not going to say that. But what disturbed me a bit was the fact that, I don't know if it is how the news reporter got it. He was saying how I'm interpreting it, like people can't expect him to just jump on the who shouts the loudest, because he's talking about now, we're talking about things that are, I would say, more local government issues, talking about the whole roads and water that people in general in Jamaica have been crying. He said the 3 million people are crying for water. It's not the 3 million Jamaicans, it's a certain sect in Jamaica. Yes, it may be the masses, but it's not the 3 million people. There are people who are quite fine where water is concerned, especially people in the upper echelon. So I was surprised when he mentioned basically the entire Jamaica. And I know that the entire Jamaica is not suffering from water shortages, not having water in their homes and so on. Because if they're not getting it through our standard means by, that's National Water Commission. They have their, own water thing that they set up. There are people who are like that. I know of somebody who is like that, where they come off the NWC's grid. So I was very much taken aback by that. And I was also taken aback by how the reporter had coined it, that he said basically can't just jump on everyone's shout, and that we need to be more understanding. Jamaicans have been understanding. The public servants have been very, 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 very understanding. Because, okay, then explain this to me then how is it that you guys are paid your retro, all the back money for whatever mileage or whatever it is that you would need in terms of benefits, monetary related, but as soon as it relates to the civil servants, they must exercise patience? So I thought that would have been for the entire whole, that we would all exercise the patience then, since you said the entire 3 million Jamaican people are crying out for water, roads and whatnot. And you're basically saying the money is not, how you're presenting it is that the money probably is not sufficient to deal with everything in one go. When I drive around, the different parishes in Jamaica, I have never seen, I should call Jamaica the land of buildings and buildings. The land of buildings and buildings, based on the number of buildings that are going up, whether it's apartment complexes, townhouses, maybe business places. The number of buildings that I've seen, they're insurmountable. I'm I'm literally discombobulated, to say the very least. So I don't understand. This country has a lot of money. Our country is not poor. Financially, it is not. It is how the money is, attributed, how it is appropriated, or the lack thereof, So I'm not understanding to pay just back money for the civil servants in terms of the mileage and the increments and so on is difficult. They're not even talking about particularly yet in terms of the increase in salaries. So I'm confused by the minister's response, really and truly confused. You have local government issues that are dealt with separate. That's why they have the local government versus the central government. Yes, everything may fall under the umbrella of central government, but things have to be compartmentalized. The civil servants are human beings as well, and they need to live, they need to survive. The cost of living is going up while their pay remains same. And they would love to get these, whether back monies for different reasons, whether it's mileage related, salary related, or whatnot, increasing their salary so that they can survive in a fair manner. We're not even saying in an excellent manner. So I'm confused by that, I'm confused by the response. You're saying that they have been patient. But they say they're restive and ready now. They're giving 10 days ultimatum for things to be changed. You mentioned that there were 10 things that were put forward, but it's 9 that were already, how you're putting it, accepted. It's just one that seemed to be. But she mentioned several things I don't understand, in terms of the passenger mileage being reinstated. That is 1. In terms of the retro for the passenger mileage, that is 2. They talked about the increments that should go on the salaries. That is 3. So those are, 3 out of the 10 that are not addressed, because you had definitely indicated that, they just have to be patient because people are talking now about roads and water, which falls under the auspices of the local government. You have the mayors and all of that, and money is separate and allocated for that. Just as our money should be separate and allocated for salaries and benefits. Anything benefit and salary related, you have money. You don't mix up every money for the same. For example, you have your light bill funds. If you're paying your light bill, you pay your electricity bill, you pay your water bill, you pay your cable bill, your internet bill, and so on. So you have them separated. It's the same. So we juxtapose it to this. So I'm not following the train of argument. Honestly, I really am genuinely not. Minister, I'm a bit surprised. And when I heard the president saying they're really fed up and so on, no, basically, they don't use those words. They say they're restive and ready. And when you check the meaning of the word, really on the edge. And they said, that they're given 10 days because this is crazy. They said that you guys have been unresponsive, and it's not the first I've heard people making complaints like that the MOF, the Ministry of Finance, tend to be unresponsive where these things are concerned. And it behooves you in terms of the ministry to deal with the civil servants, because it keeps being the cry. If somebody's saying, you keep stepping on my toe, and then you seem aloof, you seem, also unaware of it, something is off, because this has been a cry of the civil servants from a long time. This has been the cry, this has been the cry, this has been the cry. So now you are aware of it, and so on. I'm not sure it would be prudent to tell people to be patient, because this has been ongoing for a long time, for a little while, and they have been. They probably thought that they would have gotten all of this resolved from last year. We thought that in December we'd have seen some extras, and we did not. We did not. So there you have the budget, this during the course of this month into April, so we hope that this will be factored in, and maybe the following month it is paid out to the people. Just as how you guys had gotten 100%, 200%, 300% increase, and whatever other monies, back monies or retro monies, were given to you. You got it in one sweep. So remember that just as how you're human, we're humans too. The similar needs that you have, we have them as well. And wants to an extent. Guys, follow me on TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please share this message.